Hey everyone, Freiberger here, and yes, you can finally buy Crusher Camaro blown big block shirts. There's a link in the description. But in this video, I'm going to tell you all about the 8 engines that have been in this 67 Camaro in its 24 years as a project car. This car is pretty well known for magazines, videos, and stuff like that, and I change it up all of the time. I mean, sometimes I'll drive an engine like 3 times and then swap it out and put in something else. And people ask me all the time what engines have been in the car. So that's what this is all about. And I'll give you a little bit of history on them and kind of how they worked and stuff like that. First of all, this thing came stock with an inline 6 and a power glide. And I gotta tell you, that thing was sweet. Turned the key, ran smooth, quiet, drove everywhere, got more than 20 miles per gallon. It was actually really cool when we first bought this car for 700 bucks. I don't remember if it was a 194 or a 250 or what was in it, but it was actually pretty sweet. Then the first V8 that went in the thing, actually Rob Canan took over the project and he built a smog legal or smog friendly 406 cubic inch small block Chevy for the thing. It actually went through EPA testing and stuff. That was sort of the point of the whole Crusher Camaro project, was to show that old cars don't have to pollute. But then we threw that completely out the window. I never actually drove the 406. The next engine that went in it, Roma Gonigal actually was in charge, and he put in an all aluminum 632 cubic inch tall deck big block. The problem with it is it really didn't make that much power. I can't remember what it was. It was like 700 horsepower, which sounds like a lot, but for a 632 really wasn't. And the car was really loud and rowdy, and it had big header mufflers that dragged the ground, giant headers. They had to cut the K-frame to get it in the car. And I drove the thing a couple times that way and honestly just didn't like it. I didn't think it was that good of a package. That engine came out of the car, Rose sold it, and the car sat around for a long time with no engine in it. And that's when I bought the car back. I had originally bought the thing for 700 bucks out of the junkyard, then sold it to the magazine, and then I bought the thing back. And the first engine I put in it was an Ironhead 383. It was one of those HT 383 Chevy Performance crate motors that they had. And then after that, I put some aluminum heads on it. And the thing ended up running like 1220s or something like that. It would pick up the front end that much. It was a really nice, just typical street machine combo. After the 383, that's when this version happened, the blown big block. The 489 cubic inch big block with the Wyand 871 supercharger. It made, I think when we were really pushing it, it made 700 horsepower. It made like 650 in more street trim. And it's just a basic motor, cast crank, regular cheapy aftermarket rods. It did have forged pistons in it, stock Gen 5 block, and it has Holley oval port heads on it that they don't make anymore, not particularly good. And it has a tiny comp hydraulic roller cam. It's like 224 at 50, I think. And so that engine is really tame, but makes good power. It ran 1060s in this car, and then we put it in that Crusher Impala, and it runs like 1140s in that big boat with much less rear end gear and much less converter and stuff like that. Then we did this live thing where we took the blown big block out and we installed a Mast Motorsports LS7 with a tunnel ram on it in EFI. That was the first time we'd had EFI on the car. I take it back. I think the 632 might have had EFI at one point. But anyway, we put this LS7 in the thing, and that was a sweet combo. Had a Gearstar 4L80E in it, and we did the swap in Indy, drove the thing all the way home, and took it to Sacramento Raceway, and the thing ran 10 O's naturally aspirated with that LS7 in it. It made 700 horsepower. That was a really cool combo, but it was a borrowed engine, and so I took that out. The next thing that went in was a Magnuson supercharged LS3. It was a 427 LS3, just a crate motor from Blueprint Engines, and I actually don't remember what happened with that. Tony and Lucky were dealing with that particular engine. And then that came out, and then me and Dulcich installed this tunnel ram small block right here, which is 400 cubic inches, and it's got this tunnel ram on it, mild camshaft, runs on 91 octane, and I got a 457 gear in the back of the car and a Ford 9-inch. It has a Gearstar Turbo 350, a lot of converter, trans brake, the whole shebang, and this thing runs 1067 naturally aspirated. So there you go. That's the story of the 8 engines that have been in the Crusher Camaro so far. I think we're heading for 9. I've got a couple goals for this. One is put the blown big block back in it, or actually I want to build an all aluminum blown big block for it. But I also would really like to drive this car on Power Tour next year, and so that might happen. And if it does, it probably won't be with this engine. I would like to put this in our 56 Chevy, which would be really cool. So anyway, that's the story. Crusher t-shirts on sale through Friday. I don't remember the date. It's early October. I forget. Look at the date this video is posted and figure the next Friday, that's when they go off sale. Shop.davidfreiberger.com. You can get these things, and stay tuned for even more videos and action and engines in the Crusher Camaro.